Welcome Grace's story, The Day a Mother Rose Again. A complete, polished, single-story version. It was Mother's Day, the one day Grace should have felt loved. The sun poured warmly through the windows as she arrived at her daughter Danielle's house, dressed in her favorite green dress. She carried flowers, sweet treats, and a heart full of hope. "Grandma Grace!" her grandchildren yelled, running into her arms. For a moment, she felt alive again. Michael barely nodded at her. Danielle smiled, but her eyes were cold. "Mom, we have a special surprise for you," Danielle said, handing her a pink card decorated with the kids' drawings. Grace smiled softly and opened it. She began reading in a proud voice. "Roses are red, violets are blue." But then her voice froze. "You're a heavy burden. No one wants you here. Your time has passed. It's time for you to go. Signed, your family who can't stand you anymore." Silence. Then laughter. Cruel, sharp, merciless laughter. Michael bent over, choking with laughter. Danielle pretended to cover her mouth but couldn't hide her smirk. Even the children giggled, confused, imitating the adults. "Did you see your face, Mom?" Danielle laughed. "Michael, did you record it?" Tears spilled down Grace's cheeks. The card slipped from her trembling fingers. "It's just a joke, Mom," Danielle said. "Don't be so dramatic." Michael picked up the card and added coldly, "Grace, maybe you really should think about a senior home. You're in the way a lot now." Her heart cracked open. She stood up on shaking legs. I should go." "Okay, Mom," Danielle replied casually. "We'll call you later." But she didn't call. That night, Grace cried until her chest hurt. But through the tears, something hardened a truth she had ignored for years.
She wasn't a burden. She was the reason they survived. And she remembered everything. How she had raised Danielle alone after her husband disappeared. How she worked double shifts sewing uniforms. How she sold her mother's jewelry to pay for Danielle's nursing school. How she paid $12,000 for Danielle's wedding. $25,000 for their house. And thousands more throughout the years. How she babysat for years without asking for a single dollar. How she gave Michael and Danielle $500 every month during hard times. How she bought the kids computers, repaired their car, paid for kitchen remodels. How they slowly stopped thanking her, stopped inviting her, stopped caring. And how, at her weakest moment, sick with a fever, Danielle told her, "Mom, we can't come running every time you get a cold. Ask a neighbor." That neighbor, an 82-year-old woman, had brought her soup. Her own daughter hadn't even called back. Yes, the humiliation of Mother's Day didn't start that day. It was the final drop after years of slow cruelty. But Grace had a secret, something no one knew. A property in Nassau, Bahamas, a beachfront condo she inherited at 70. Investments from an aunt. A nest egg of $400,000 no one suspected. They thought she was a poor old woman living on Social Security. They had no idea the woman they mocked had the power to change her life completely. The morning after Mother's Day, Grace woke up as someone new. She put on her elegant gray suit, tied her hair neatly, lifted her chin, and began her liberation. First, the bank. She canceled the automatic $500 transfers, closed the joint account, shifted her investments. Danielle and Michael would receive nothing. She rewrote her entire will. Second, the lawyer. Every dollar would go to a foundation for abandoned seniors. Her grandchildren would receive a trust only if they kept real. Loving contact with her as adults. Third, the travel agency. "I need a ticket to Nassau," she said. "For a vacation." "No," she smiled. for a new beginning. She booked first class. But before leaving, she sat at her desk with elegant stationery and a calm heart. She wrote Danielle and Michael a final letter, not angry, not bitter, but clear. You didn't lose an old woman who needed you. You lost the woman who carried you, fed you, funded you, protected you, and loved you. You lost Grace, the one person who never abandoned you. Now I choose myself. She sealed the letter, packed one suitcase, locked her house, and walked forward without looking back. A week later, Grace stood on a balcony overlooking the turquoise Bahamian Sea. The breeze lifted her hair. The sun warmed her face. For the first time in decades, she felt peace. No one mocked her here. No one used her here. No one erased her here. Grace finally belonged to herself. And for the first time in her 74 years, she whispered the words, "I am free."